For the World Cup. You may have not heard this, but the poor in Cape Town, Africa, they are being relocated. Shirley Fisher, she says she was evicted from a hostel near a stadium where soccer's biggest stars train. Natasha Flores says she was driven out of a squatter's quarters near the new $450 million stadium in one of Cape Town's busiest tourist areas. Both ended up in Blinkensdorp, a settlement of corrugated iron shacks ringed by concrete fence, home to hundreds of evicted families. Many residents say there's only one reason they round up in this bleak place, which the Afrikaans mean tin can town. It's the World Cup, said Fisher 41 without hesitation. Human rights campaigners say South African authorities have forcibly moved thousands of the impoverished to Blinkensdorp and other settlements to present a good image of the nation during the World Cup, which began today. Cape Town city officials deny the allegations. What is clear is that the complaints have exposed the wide gap between South Africa's rich and poor residents, 16 years after the end of apartheid. President Jacob Zula's government argues that the billions it has spent on building stadiums and improving infrastructure will create jobs, raise the standard of living, and showcase South Africa's progress. Many of the poor, though, say the government has misplaced its priorities. They expect their lives to change little as a result of their nation holding the world's most watched sporting event. In fact, most of them say we will be worse off. Why can't they take the money they spend on the stadiums and use it to build houses? Not the dull houses we now live in, but proper houses, demanded Margaret Bennett. She's 45, who lives with eight relatives in a shack the size of a walk-in closet. The World Cup may be important for the high-powered people, but it means nothing for us on the streets. We are living in a concentration camp, said Drew Morris, 47, and other residents. Now, the impoverished have been victimized in other countries that have held global sporting events. At the 2008 Beijing Olympics and the 1988 Seoul Olympics, hundreds of thousands were forced from their homes. But unlike anywhere else in the world, evictions have historical significance in South Africa. Under white rule, hundreds of thousands of blacks and so-called coloreds, or people of mixed race, were forcibly removed from their homes to racially separate the society. Did you hear that? To racially separate the society. Now, one of the most famous upheavals unfolded in Cape Town's District 6. More than 60,000 people were uprooted after the government declared that it was a whites-only area, and that was in the year 1966. And after the historic all-race elections in 1994, the ruling African National Congress promised to build a house for every poor family to redress the injustices of apartheid. But today, cities such as Cape Town face acute housing shortages, pushing poor to squat on public land or occupy empty buildings, even sidewalks. Kind of shows you, boy, you think that it's only here that you're generally getting messed over with. I almost used another word, but surely I wouldn't do that. No. But here it is. Oh, yes, we're going to give you 20 acres and a mule, sort of, but then all of a sudden, nope. They put on this big front for the World Cup. All that money for those stadiums, I'll tell you. Well, we're going to take a break, and we shall continue in just a moment. Don't go away.
Come to quality. Come to luxury. Relax at the Fountain Grove Inn Hotel and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Experience our newly renovated guest rooms, generously sized and decorated in